And here we are.
Here we are.
How have you been?
Well, I've been okay. You?
I've been great. We want to talk about kind of attitude and things like that, mindset. Hopefully it can help someone out. We kind of had it brought to our attention that one of our daughters actually is able to change her attitude like that.
Yeah,
And
just change your state.
we've talked about it because it's something that we kind of study into. So we're going to talk about that today, and hopefully we can help someone out. Maybe you're struggling with your attitude, your outlook, and hopefully we can give you some pointers.
Yep. So, to start out today, one of the things that you notice is that if you are in a poor state, it can make everything take longer, everything be more difficult.
Time drags when you're negative.
And it's just a better idea to switch it if you can, to just switch your attitude, switch your outlook. And it can be really hard sometimes. And sometimes we don't even realize that we have set a negative anchor. As Tony Robbins talked about, it's where you can associate something that has nothing to do with anything else, anything negative really. You can associate something with negative feelings just because when you're feeling really, really bad, that something happened. Mm-hmm. You saw that person, you heard that noise or something like that. You can associate that with feeling terrible. And I think my niece is having that kind of feeling when she looks at her math homework.
Oh, she definitely has got an anchor there.
Yeah.
And it's not like she's bringing it on purpose, but immediately she sees it. She's angry. She's confused because at that point she knows none of the answers are going to come to her easy.
And she's right. They don't.
Yeah, when you're in that state. Yeah, when you're in that state, that's what's going to happen. I mean, when's the last time you were negative and you've seen the wonderful sunshine and the flowers blooming and whatever? You don't notice that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and everything was suddenly easy when you're in that negative attitude kind of state. So one of the things that we noticed is that my daughter, she starts to feel sad, she starts to feel frustrated, and she says that she'll clap her hands and snap herself into feeling more positive. And she just came up with this on her own. It's just awesome.
Yeah, she's successfully set an anchor that and it doesn't matter. She could be sad, she can be playing a game, and she's really a competitive girl. Super competitive, hates to lose. So she can lose a game and immediately she's ticked off. She's angry. But she stops and she's set an anchor where she can clap her hands and boom, you can just see it. The whole thing shift. And she's back to a calm, happy state. And then she can go on playing and she don't have those anger moments. And she's successfully done it on her own. It's great to watch. I'm trying to get our niece, we're trying to get our niece to...
Yeah, we're going to have to get
to set some anchor points.
That negative anchor of the math homework and switch that around for her.
Because where she set it negative... Again, if you want more information on this, Tony Robbins has great information on this, but it's called collapsing the negative anchor. And so we need to work with her on doing that because your state controls your outlook. It controls what you're going to be as far as opportunity you see to you. Like she ain't going to see that answer may be right in front of her. She ain't going to see it because that attitude she's in, it's just not part of it. And so to help her out, we got to change it.
And one of the things too is if you aren't setting your own connections between what you're doing right now and how you feel, you aren't making your own anchors, they're just kind of being made for you. So it's a good idea to be paying attention to it, to be choosing your own attitude because why make it more difficult?
Just pay attention to see how you're feeling throughout the day, and all of a sudden you may find yourself, you know what, I didn't wake up on the quote-unquote wrong side of the bed, but all of a sudden I'm ticked off now. What happened a few minutes ago that got me into that state? And maybe it is some kind of trigger point that maybe nothing happened. It was a trigger point that you don't even know about that triggered that. Immediately you're feeling those emotions, the anger and everything. And so if you can pinpoint it back to whatever trigger, then we can start working at collapsing it, getting rid of it, and setting better ones.
And one of the things that we were talking about too is that you're more likely to hear bad news. You're more likely to hear about things that aren't working out and all of the bad stuff, because bad news travels much, much faster than good news. It's the difference between all of the good things you hear about, I don't know, maybe even a company or how many times it is the customer says what a fabulous job it is that an associate did versus how many times they'll say what a horrible job they did.
Yeah.
Just bad news just goes, I don't know, people
you can
focus
have
on more.
you can have 100 great reviews, 5 bad ones, and people's going to focus on the bad. Because we don't want to be taken advantage of. We don't want to, whatever. I mean, that's why we're looking for those bad. There's reason we're doing it, but we tend to look more for the bad.
And so that means that if you want to be in a positive, you want to be in a positive mindset, you want to have a positive attitude, you're going to have to work on it. You're going to have to be focusing on the good in order to make it so that that can be the way that you approach whatever it is you're doing. Life.
Anything.
Your goals. Anything you're working on.
Yeah.
And so
might improve your golf game.
Some of the things we're talking about too is you have to look for the good. And so if you're noticing that you're getting into a bad mindset and you need to switch where you're at, you might need to use an anchor. Mm-hmm. You might need to listen to something positive. I remember when I was a kid, I would play some music to make it so that I could get myself, because I had used that music as an anchor. I realize now is that
music, it makes sense. Music invokes emotion. It's just what it does.
And so I could take that music and I could change my attitude altogether. I could be in a horrible mood and I could just play some music, and even today when I listen to those songs, they'll still put me back into a good state.
Yeah,
and I can still,
if we play them, you'll start singing and you're all into it.
Yeah, and so you might want to maybe listen to a favorite comedian, think about a favorite comedian, maybe listen to some comedy, something that can change your mindset, bring up your attitude so that you can take on the world.
Yeah.
And one of the things we're talking about too is that sometimes you can talk to a friend if you have some positive people that
friend that you just tend to just have a good time with. You tend to just feel better. That's a good one to be around. Yeah. Don't get around that one that's that when you tend to get together and you cry and think of all the bad things that's happened. Don't forget about them. I mean, they're still your friend, but you may want to lean towards the one that, I mean, we're trying to bring your state up, not down.
Something that Tony said even is that if you do find that you're associating maybe a strong negative feeling with a particular person that maybe has nothing to do with that person, is you might have to just realize that that's something you're doing and change that. Because if that person isn't doing anything that's actually making your day worse, if it's just looking at them that just makes you remember terrible things, then maybe...
And it might not have anything to do with them.
Yeah, it might have nothing to do with
just
it.
Because the last 10 times prior, for some reason, something bad happened to you before, or you come out of work angry and you happen to get around that person every time, and so your mind's associated the wrong thing.
Yeah.
This person's what triggered it, and maybe it's not that person at all. So you may want to watch that. It might not be that person at all. You may get along great with them. They may be great, wonderful, positive person. You just don't see it because the state you're in. And so you got to work on maybe it's there's so much psychological with us.
So just pay attention to how you're feeling and then track it back a little bit as to why it is you're feeling that way. If you can't figure a reason as to why it's logically happening, it could just be that you created some anchor on accident that associates that person, that place with strong negative emotions, and just change it. Yeah. And you can look into, Tony Robbins has a great video on it about how to change your anchors.
Yep.
If you have a negative anchor to a place or to a particular sound or something, that you could change that, or you could create a positive anchor. If you need to switch your state really fast, you can create a positive anchor so that you can just get that energy you need, get that positivity you need right now to be able to take on the world.
Yep. Might as well take advantages of what we can, things that we can control to make our lives easier. And the whole point of life is to enjoy it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we can put ourselves in a good state to enjoy it, to enjoy the people around us more, why not do it? Let's take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So is that good?
Yeah. Have you ever tried setting an anchor? Have you realized as we got talking that maybe you've set some negative anchors on accident?
I know I have.
I know I have. As I was thinking about it today, I know that I have. And so I'm going to have to work on collapsing those like Tony Robbins was talking about. And let us know how that works. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be working on.
Yeah, let us know how that works. If you try collapsing your anchors, your negative anchors, if you try creating positive anchors, how it is that you do that. Just like my daughter did, just clapping her hands and just getting herself snapped into a positive.
Now she can do it anytime
now
she
can
wants.
do it whenever. And it's
state changed.
I'm so proud, and I'm going to have to work on my own.
Yep.
And so let us know how your attempts go, and we'll talk to you next time.
Awesome. Hopefully we helped you. And if we did, subscribe if you don't mind. We want to put out content like this more often, stuff that's going to help you. And if you have any suggestions on maybe we should talk about, put in the comments below.
Yep.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye.